Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. The reasons I'm excited is that if you haven't noticed from the keynote and just walking around, AI is everywhere. We heard about the products, we heard about the roadmap, we heard about, we saw demos, we saw how AI is going to give rise to a Siliconomy. So this is our opportunity to bring four of our leaders together to help pull it all together for us and tell the One Intel AI story. So much of the buzz around AI is focused on large language models training, things of that nature, but customers, developers, they know there's much more to it. So can you give us a peek into your customers' meetings? What are you seeing? What are you hearing from them?
Well, I'll start out by saying that we are in the early days of AI, and so while it is absolutely this transformative technology that is going to impact every single vertical industry, every single customer that we work with, Mark, we know that we need a lot of different heterogeneous architectures, but it's really the software that is the unlock of the underlying infrastructure, and so the thing that we're committed to is to bring on AI everywhere through a consistent software stack and tool chain that allows developers of all types, large and small, to deploy AI and to get to what they really want to get to is some positive productivity or efficiency gain, some positive business outcomes.
So Sachin, I want to pull you into the discussion a little bit. I know you and your team are looking for ways to develop AI from the edge to the cloud, delivering on our vision. How are you thinking about AI at the edge?
For us, I think I often get asked the question, what is the edge? The edge is all the physical infrastructure we use around us, right? So it's your retail store that you go to, it's your fast food store that you go to, it's a factory floor that you work in. All this physical infrastructure that underpins our lives. If you look at the estimates, I think edge is expected to grow very healthily as fast as the cloud over the rest of this decade. I think what's interesting is now with the advent of AI, a lot of these customers who have invested in this software-defined infrastructure at the edge now want to build on that and drive more automation, more efficiency into their physical operations, right? In the way they do their work, the way they do their business, they want to make it a lot more intelligent, they want to make it a lot more automated. So that's going to drive a lot of AI at the edge, and we are building software, as Sandra said, that simplifies the application developers and the infrastructure operators' life. Highly distributed environment, that's where we're bringing Project Strata that Pat talked about today. But that's not enough, that's just the infrastructure. Then we are building with OpenVINO the AI runtime on top. Makes it super easy for developers to integrate AI into their applications at the client and edge and build these magical experiences that this thing can bring.
Michelle, you can't talk about the edge or even nodes without talking about the PC. We heard a lot about it today in the keynote with Pat. Can you talk to us a little bit more about the arrival of what he's calling the AI PC era?
Yeah, well, it's here, right? With the introduction of Intel Core Ultra, we're here. We have this amazing product that I'm so excited to bring to market. AI in the PC is really taking all these large language models and things that bluntly most consumers and frankly a lot of corporate America really don't understand, and figuring out how to bring productivity to their desk, to their notebook, and to make the things that you enjoy in the cloud today, and you may not even know they run in the cloud, being able to do those locally. And I think it's such an opportunity for the developers here because we don't even know what's going to be created. I look at it and say, hey, it's my job to get billions of TOPS into the industry so that the ecosystem of developers can write and create and deliver things that we don't even know are here. And I'm very, very excited for all the milestones ahead, and we're just starting.
So Greg, I'm going to pull you in because we're going to talk a little bit about open and multi-platform software approaches. So can you give us a little bit more about why open AI ecosystems and choice and platforms are so important for developers in particular?
Well, I've been in this industry a long time as a software hardware guy, and open always wins over the long term. And as Sandra said, this is a long-term game, and we're there. So NVIDIA's got an enviable position in the market. They've created the market in many ways, and they've built a proprietary moat around their products and their software stack. But the open source community has basically brought an incredible challenge to that. They're disrupting that sort of control point through these open ecosystems like PyTorch. So we're just using the open source ecosystem That means you can develop your models, you can deploy them on anybody's hardware, and we'll deliver the best performance and scale from the client to the edge. Really, this was, as Sandra said earlier, and Pat announced, the Intel Developer Cloud is where you go to get to play with all this new stuff, right? So we're building it out as fast as we can get the hardware out of the factory. So this is all about enabling really creative people, really creative developers to get the best value out of this hardware that we've spent all this time and energy to bring to market. But yet you can just bring the open source software and it just runs.
Yeah. So Sachin, I want to bring in a little bit on the edge software discussion. So OpenVINO, what is it offering developers and the capabilities at the edge?
There's going to be a lot of heterogeneity at the client and edge, just because you're going to have so many devices with different power, price, and performance. And expecting a developer of an app, not an AI scientist, but a developer of an app who's building a productivity app, who's building an app for a retail store, who's building an app for a factory store, a factory floor. We should not be expecting them to figure out the complexities of all of these different choices that they have. So with OpenVINO, our mission is to simplify that, to actually abstract that complexity and make it easy for you to get the best performance out of this. So OpenVINO is evolving to become a runtime to make it easy for developers to stitch all of these different AI capabilities together and weave it into their app that is open, cross-platform, and really simplifies the complexity of it. Last step, Pat talked about the hybrid AI SDK that will come out in Q1 24. Like Michelle said, we want all of these magical AI capabilities to run on the edge, to run on our client devices, because it's more private, it's more secure, it's more intimate, and it's cheaper, right? You don't have to pay for the bandwidth and the cost of the cloud. So with hybrid AI SDKs, we're going to make it easy for you to access that capability, and we're going to, again, build it in an open manner, make it agnostic to which cloud backend you want to use, and give the developer the choice on using any of these cloud AI models.
So we've had great discussion around the hardware, the software, and it may be overstated, but none of this really matters if people don't trust it. So Greg, help ground us in. What is it that's happening on the trust front?
Well, I think first the cyber security landscape just keeps getting scarier, right? And I think every corporation is seeing this, right, with all different kinds of attack vectors. I also have the responsibility that the Chief Information Security Officer and our head of product assurance for the security of our products, the firmware, the silicon, report into me, and I have that accountability to our board is to make sure that we keep Intel protected, and therefore we keep our technology that we provide you protected. But there's more to it than that. We've got to really bring the software. The software has got to participate in that. So some of the innovations that Intel has done in the past was the Intel Software Guard extensions, which is in Skylake and Ice Lake today, that's in the market. But we just released with Sapphire Rapids our trusted domain extensions, which called TDX. It brings the security into the virtual machine environments, right? So if you're running in a cloud with a virtual machine capability that uses our Sapphire Rapids TDX system, you've got your data and your code completely encrypted while it's actually running in the cloud. But essentially, we're taking computational computing seriously and deploying it across the portfolio in a set of phases to basically secure your data, ensure privacy, and give the customer the control, right, in a multi-cloud environment. This is the only way to do it and maintain your control over the security of what you're running and your data and your code. So I think it's just a game changer.
All right, so shifting gears a little bit, I think we've all agreed that AI is in the early stages. So having a little fun, let's talk about a vision. When you get a chance to really think about things in the future, where are things headed?
I guess I look at the future of AI PCs as we're going to take these large language models and we're going to figure out how we make them nimble and how they can run locally, just so that we can offer more productivity, more creativity, the opportunity to do things that we didn't think about doing them before. Obviously, my job is to make sure I deliver a PC roadmap full of all of those capabilities for everyone to take advantage of. There are so many ways that this can improve people's lives, right? Where we can take disabilities, as Pat said, and make them into superpowers. And that makes me excited. That makes me want to get up every morning, build better hardware and better software capabilities to unleash the world to do good. And it allows us to really live into our mission and our vision, which is, create technology that improves the lives of every person on the planet. And if we can do that, and we're going to look back 10 years from now and say, wow, that was a really good moment.
So our mission is to empower the developers to deliver on this vision, right? And if I think about kind of all the stuff that we're doing today, we are obviously going to continue to deliver great hardware that will make that capability commonplace. Ability to capture anything you see, anything you hear, anything you write, anything you can see, transcribe it, make sense of it, make it queryable, make it searchable. Imagine the kind of stuff you could build with it, right? Our mission is to deliver you that capability in a form factor that's local, private, and secure. I think the world's your oyster, right? So figure out what applications you can build on top of this.
So the size of these models is almost like we're in this sort of like a sports race where, okay, I have a 700 billion parameter model, and I have a billion parameter model, and okay, how many billions of dollars do you need to buy all the GPUs or the AI accelerators to train on those large scale models? I think we've seen this in the industry several times. That curve is going to get bent. Essentially, people are going to figure out new algorithmic models, and so I got a whole group in Intel Labs doing that, and that's the power of how we're going to basically democratize and get AI everywhere. Because then let the customer, let the use case, let the market decide, where to deploy, what price point, what power consumption model, the technology to the right place. Because all the software is going to run on everything. It's not going to be a proprietary mode.